I have been creating content on YouTube for nearly 2 years, where I explore abandoned or haunted houses in Japan. However, I have not yet come across anything remarkable. Though the presence in these places can be eerie, I have not witnessed any ghost sightings or events that could be classified as paranormal. At times, my camera captures shadows or figures that some people claim to be ghosts. However, I am still not convinced, as the quality of the footage is often poor, or the lighting is bad. Recently, a friend recommended a place on the Oshimaland website, which features stigmatized properties called Jikobukan. These are properties where the previous occupant died under unnatural circumstances, such as suicide, murder, fire, or neglect. The property my friend suggested is approximately 4 hours away from where I live, which is perfect for a night live stream if I leave my house by 4 p.m. Upon arriving at the property, which is located on the outskirts of town, I noticed that it is the only house that resides 100 meters away from the next occupant. The 2-story house is currently abandoned, and police tapes are still intact in front of it. I decided to start my live stream on YouTube and show everyone what I saw. During the live stream, I shared some information about the property's history with my viewers. The property was previously occupied by a family of 4, the parents and 2 kids. About a year ago, the wife developed a sudden onset of psychotic illness, schizophrenia. One night, when everyone was asleep, the wife killed her husband and both of their children before taking her own life. The police only discovered their bodies when one of the husband's colleagues came to the property to look for him, as he had not shown up for work for several days. Despite the police tape blocking the main entrance, I decided to explore the backyard with the live viewers. Surprisingly, the small gate to the backyard was not locked. I mustered the courage to duck under the police tape and entered the wild grasses that had grown long in the backyard. Slowly, I made my way to the back door of the house. However, as soon as I entered, I sensed that someone was watching me from inside the house. As I slowly slid the door pane aside, I discovered another glass panel door behind it. No matter how hard I tried to open it, it was deadlocked. I shined my torch into the house through the glass panel door, which gave me an eerie feeling. I wanted to stop and turn back, as there was no way into the house. Suddenly, the chat on the live stream became frenzied, with people urging me to go inside and offering tips. I hesitated until someone tipped me 10,000 yen, and I then broke the window with the big rock I found on the side of the door steps. After breaking the window, I carefully opened the ledge behind the glass door and slid it to the side. The first thing I did when I entered the house was to apologize, saying, "I am sorry to intrude your place, please forgive me." This is the usual practice when entering any abandoned place or even staying in a hotel, as we hope the spirits around the area will not disturb us. The smell of the house was musty, stale, and earthy, possibly from the decaying wood or mold due to being abandoned for a year. The silence of the house made me feel uneasy, as if it was muffling my ears. I scanned the house with my light, but the vibes were really scary. I started to move around the first floor of the house, meandering through the corridors and finally reaching the bathroom. Someone in the live chat asked if this was the crime scene where the murder happened. I then replied that, according to the website, the murder happened in the dining room and also the master bedroom on the 2nd floor. After what I said, the chat asked me to go find the dining room. When I located it, I found it weird that there was no furniture at all, with the table and chairs all gone. All I could see was a small plot of bloodstain on the floor near the wall. However, what really puzzled me was the color of the blood, which still looked fresh red, even though the murder had happened a year ago. The police would have sent someone to clear up everything, so why were there still bloodstains here? My body was overcome with a sudden surge of fear, causing the fine hairs on my arms to stand on end. The uncertainty of my situation was suffocating, and I felt as though the weight of it all was crushing me. As I continued my exploration of the house, I suddenly heard a loud noise from another room. My heart skipped a beat and began to race. It took me a while to regain my composure, and I slowly walked towards the source of the noise. As I got closer, I shone my torch and saw that a glass door in the kitchen had shattered. It was most likely due to the wind or the decay of the wood that was holding it up. Despite my fear, the tips from the chat kept coming, urging me to check out the master bedroom on the second floor. I reluctantly obliged, knowing that these tips were my main source of income at the moment. As I climbed the stairs, I suddenly heard a whisper coming from the corridor.
Look at me.
I turned, but there was no one there. Was my fear causing me to hallucinate? While on my way up, I was shocked to have found another blood stain on the wall of the stairs, this time in the form of a handprint left by someone. It was still fresh and red, making me wonder if there was someone in the abandoned house who was injured or in danger. Despite my growing fear, I decided to push on. However, upon entering one of the rooms on the second floor, I found that there was no furniture present. The room was small and only had one half-open cabinet, which I slowly approached and opened, thankful to find it empty. As I made my way to the second room, my eyes immediately fell on a large grey patch on the matted floor. This must be the master bedroom where the murder took place. I knew that a year ago, the wife had killed her husband here, and the bloodstains would have turned grey by now or created a similar stain patch like this. However, when I shone my torch to the other side of the room, I was horrified to see a big pool of fresh blood on the floor, with some of it splattered on the paper partition door. I could clearly see fingerprints on the floor and on the paper partition. My chat viewers urged me to slide the partition to check out what was behind it. As I slowly slid it open, my heart began to race even faster. The paper partition was covered in bloody handprints. I had reached my limit, and my heart was pounding like a jackhammer. Suddenly, I heard a sound. Footsteps were coming from the staircase, and I held my breath, standing to the side of the door where I entered. The footsteps grew louder and louder, climbing up the stairs. My heart was pounding like crazy, and anxiety was consuming me. I slowly peeked at the stairs and saw a long-haired lady with tousled hair emerging from the first-floor stairs, climbing up step by step. In her hand, she held a blood-dripping knife. With all the furniture removed, there was nowhere to hide. I quickly turned off the live stream and the lights, and stayed behind the door, holding my breath, hoping the lady would walk past me. All I could hear was my own heartbeat and the sound of her every step. As she walked past me and into another room, I knew it was my chance to escape. I crept outside the door and tried to make my way down the stairs. With my heart racing and my body trembling, I realized that the woman had somehow noticed me. I slowly turned around, and to my horror, the lady was staring straight at me. Her face was contorted in a grotesque expression of pleasure. I tried to back away, but my legs felt like they were made of lead. I was frozen with fear, my mind unable to comprehend what was happening. As she drew closer, I could see the madness in her eyes and the gleeful satisfaction in her smile. I knew that I had to act quickly, but my body was betraying me. I tried to scream, but my voice was caught in my throat. All of a sudden, she lunged at me and the world went dark. When I opened my eyes, I was already in the hospital. My friend, who had shared the location with me, was beside me. He had become worried when my live stream was cut off halfway, and he made his way to the house to find me unconscious at the bottom of the stairs on the first floor. I had suffered a broken leg and a head concussion and was knocked out for 2 days. When I tried to rewatch my live stream that night, I was horrified to discover that my YouTube channel had been deleted. What truly occurred in that haunted house? Was the figure I saw a ghostly apparition of the wife who murdered her family, or had she somehow managed to survive and now lurked within the walls, waiting to prey upon any unsuspecting trespasser? The mysteries and terrors of the murder house of Japan continue to haunt me to this day.